Howdy folks, you're watching Deuce, and this is a silencer. But this is a suppressor. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot both of these in identical situations right now and see if you can tell the difference. I'll be using a Glock 34, 147 grain subsonic 9mm ammo, and the berm, I'm going to go ahead and shoot 3 rounds each. 2 in the dirt in the berm and then 1 on steel. Let's get to it. Headphone warning, if you got your headphones on, be careful because I am not going to be lowering the sound of the firearms. Of course, they've got shooting here all over the place in Tennessee. Like always, music to my ears. Two in the berm, 1 on steel. And of course, I knock it off. And again, I take down that steel every time. So did we hear a difference between the suppressor versus the silencer? Let's go back and listen to it again just to make sure. So did you hear a difference? You shouldn't have, because they're the same thing. A suppressor versus a silencer, there is no difference except for the terminology. I've got way too much junk here. Let me go ahead and move all this out of the way. This is a whole nother project I've been working on. Okay, now back to it. A suppressor, the term suppressor is a descriptive term, and is a very good, very well thought out descriptive term of what this thing does. It suppresses the sound of the gunfire. That's perfect, because it does not silence it, does not make it completely silence. But the correct term is silencer. When it was originally patented, here's the patent right here. There's a close-up. The original patent, it was patented in 1910. Well, the application was filed in 1910. It was awarded in 1912, and it says silencer for firearms. There is no denying the fact that the correct terminology for this item is silencer and not suppressor. Now, is it okay to call it a suppressor? Of course, it's perfectly fine to call this a suppressor. It is technically more descriptively accurate to call this a suppressor versus silencer, because again, it suppresses and not actually silences anything. But the patented name is silencer. Did he use that terminology to better sell his product? Probably. That's what I would do. But silencer it is. It's called a silencer. This one happens to be made by Silencer Company. So it's even doubly silencer versus suppressor. Also, actually triply silencer versus suppressor when you apply for your tax stamp and they do the whole ATF background check for $200. Then you put down that you're buying a silencer, not a suppressor. So even through the government legal obligation, you say this is a silencer and not a suppressor. There will be some people out there that claim that the internal structures of these silencers identify whether they're a silencer or suppressor, and that is not the case. Anything that is screwed onto the end of a firearm, the muzzle of a firearm, and its intended purpose is to quieten the loudness of said firearm, is technically a silencer as far as the law is concerned. After you purchase it, you can call it whatever you want to, but they are all the same thing. Now, internal structure can be very different. There's monocore setups where it's one piece inside here that's all filleted out and milled out to like really cool designs that may or may not be better. These, the 2 octanes I have here, are very traditional style suppressors inside. They're basically stacked cones over each other and just allows the gases to cool off and slow down before they exit the end of that suppressor. Honestly, the only 2 differences between these 2 silencers, one of them is 45. This is a 45 caliber, and this is a 9mm. Number one, you can see the 45 slightly longer, and the hole going through the center is slightly larger. That is it. The internal structure is identical between these two. They even share the same mounts. I can swap these mounts in between the two Probably be a really bad idea to put a 45 caliber mount on a 9mm suppressor. I can guarantee that, not through personal experience, but I've seen videos. Once you get beyond the legal requirements of obtaining a silencer, again, you can call them whatever you want to, and there are a lot of creative and interesting names for these items. Suppressor, of course, is the most descriptive. People also call them cans because they resemble a can on the end of your firearm. In Britain, they're called moderators because they moderate the sound. That's their version of suppression. So, and I think that's very descriptive as well. It moderates the sound. Perfect. On the internet, especially Reddit, a lot of people call these whisper pickles. Yeah, a whisper pickle. And the reason is because there were several websites that were censoring discussion about silencers or about suppressors. So if you use those common terms, then you're going to be censored or banned or what have you. So everyone started talking about whisper pickles because that was not in the algorithm to be banned. Well, guys, that's it for me today. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a like and go subscribe. A lot more is on the way. If you have any comments, questions, show what it is, or creative names for your suppressors, silencers, or questions about suppressors and or silencers, go and leave a comment in the comment box below. I try to get those as many as possible. As always, you guys have a great day. See ya.